Holy cow, it has been a great day. I hope you guys are having a great day as well. Um, I am ready to dive in. This is today's 5-minute life hack, and we're calling it pre-stress. It's something that I think might be interesting to a few people. First, let's talk about stress. Is it good or bad? Most of the time we think about stress in a negative sense, in a bad sense. Um, According to the American Psychological Association, stress is a normal reaction to everyday pressures. It's our body signaling we need to get ready for something. And I truly believe that having stressors and having hard things in life make us healthier, happier, stronger, because we overcome them. We can rise to the challenge, and that builds confidence in us. Um, the Dictionary of Psychology also says stress involves changes affecting nearly every system of the body, influencing how people feel and how they behave. Another thing from the APA says stress can become unhealthy when it upsets your day-to-day functioning, meaning it's impeding how you live your life. You're not getting out of bed, those types of things. So I guess in summary, stress is normal part of life. We always want to put labels on things, good or bad. It can be both. It can be good and bad. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how we deal and how we react with that. So pre-stress, the definition that I've come up with for pre-stress is a premature worry about something in the future that may or may not happen and may or may not cause stress. I think most of stress, if we're honest, probably fits in this place. Some stress happens in the moment when something happens and our body's getting into fight or flight mode. But a lot of our stress, I think, is self-imposed and thinking about potential things in the future instead of staying in the present and today and not worrying about things that aren't happening yet. I was actually on a call the other day. Anybody who knows me knows I cannot stand to call into call centers and help centers. It just feels like a waste of my time, and that's probably some arrogance or something on my part. But whenever I have problems, technical problems, I just mentally block out an hour. I call. I try to stay patient. So anyway, I was on a call with a call center rep. This is about a month ago now, and she was doing a fantastic job. She was helping me out, but at first she came onto the phone and she was very, very nice and very courteous and sounded like a human being, right? Hello, how are you? What can I help you with? And then the second we got into the script, it was full robot mode and just working through the process. I can't even remember what it was, a credit card or something happened. But anyway, so she went into robot mode for a while. I had to go and get some documents or something. I was looking things up during the call, and it was kind of silent for a minute. And so I just reached out again. We talk about kind of connecting with people and seeing people. And I just said, hey, how's your day going today? And just asked her sincerely. And she said, well, and she turned right back into a human. It was amazing. She was like, oh, today's going really well. The weather's so-and-so. And, here's how my day's going. But then she switched and said, but I've got a really long list of things to do this weekend. And you could tell like her energy just shifted, and she was like thinking about all of these things and all of this stress coming up. And I shared with her my thought on pre-stress, because it's something that's really helped me and something I've been really bad at, but I'm trying to be better at, is to recognize when I'm stressing about things that haven't even happened. And she was just so appreciative. She said, oh my goodness, I love the idea of not pre-stressing about things. If they're going to have stress, deal with them then, but not pre-stress about it 2 or 3 days in advance. She said, I'm writing that down and I'm going to put that on my note on my computer. And she said, I'm replacing this other quote that I really liked, but I think I like this pre-stress stuff better. So it was just kind of a fun interaction more than anything. And hopefully it helped her a little bit. It certainly helped me when I was introduced to to the concept. So I think we have to come up with some tools and some ways to go ahead and flip that switch. When you see, you're feeling stress about the next day or the weekend or meeting with family or a date or whatever it is, right? Your health of your dog. There's lots of things that can cause stress, but there's the reality that those things might cause stress in the moment, but leading up to it for 3 or 4 or 5 days, 2 hours, whatever the case is, that doesn't necessarily help us. And not to say it's not natural, because it is. And so one thing that I really liked about the way to deal with stress is they talk about the 3 R's: to recognize the stress when we're feeling it. Go ahead and recognize it, acknowledge it. Your body's trying to tell you something, and that's okay. That's interesting. It's important to listen and understand. Then you can recharacterize that stress. And that may just be as simple as saying, that's happening in the future, I'll deal with it then. Or to say, you know what, there's only a 15% probability that even happens. I'm just going to let it go, because there's an 85% chance it's not. And if it does, I'll deal with it when it comes up. And then the last step, and I think this is probably the most important, is to let it release. Sometimes in Stoic philosophy, they talk about looking at things with an observant mind instead of a judgment mind. We typically tend to judge things: good, bad, is that helpful, is it harmful, all of those things, which I think has its place. But sometimes it's interesting to step back and just look at things with an observant mind and say, okay, that stress is coming in. It's almost like I've had it described like a stage in your mind. So the stress comes in, sits on center stage for a little bit. You recognize it, you see what it is, you decide you're going to go ahead and let that move on. You may recharacterize it, however you do that, and then release that. Let that off the stage and move on to the next thing. And kind of mentally thinking about it, coming onto my stage, acknowledging it and letting it go is kind of an interesting way that's helped me hopefully manage my pre-stress a little better, but something that is definitely challenging and something I'm working on. So anyway, the last quote here is, sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. And I think that's definitely true with some of these stressors. Again, some stress is fantastic, helps us grow, helps us rise to challenges, helps us get those endorphins going in our body, all of those things. But sometimes some of this stress is truly not helpful. And those are the things we kind of want to let go. And that's our 5-minute life hack for the day. So hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day and a great weekend. And we'll see you on the flip side. Go make an impact. Thanks.